Blockchain has been touted as the technology that will transform many industries, starting with the financial industry. With the increase in value of cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and Ethereum, while gaining huge popularity across the world. A number of Nigerians have become full-time cryptocurrency traders. Is this adequate for a country with such huge potentials? Chimezie Chuta, founder of BlockChain Nigeria User Group, joins us to share his thoughts on blockchain ecosystem and how he believes Africa and Nigeria can benefit from the technology.
Okay, blockchain generally is a revolutionary tech, and what makes it revolutionary is because of the additions that is bringing on top of the internet protocol layer that is already existing. In a nutshell, it's a shared database where users and participants have to have a consensus before they can add a record into a ledger, so to speak. And those records are cryptographically hashed or secured in order to make them tamper-proof. So no record gets into the block except it has been validated by different participants following a certain rule. So that's quite revolutionary because it brings trust beyond the participants and their individual level. So people are able to trust the rules that have already been set in the protocol. So it's very easy to trust the data and not really bother about the participants.
Some experts have said that blockchain is not entirely secure nor transparent. What's your opinion?
Transparency is the core of blockchain technology, and security also is core. Now, there's a difference between blockchains. You have the open blockchains and you have the closed blockchains. Closed blockchains is more like centralized blockchain infrastructure where you have known participants. So such kinds of blockchain, we call them distributed ledger technologies. But when the blockchain is open, it means that anybody can come into the blockchain and play by the rules of the protocol, and everything that is within that open blockchain is 100% transparent. So except the experts are referring to the distributed ledger technologies where you have known participants playing in the ecosystem, then I think they got it all wrong.
Some people assume that cryptocurrency is the same as blockchain. Can you share the difference?
There's a huge difference. Blockchain is the technology. Cryptocurrency is I like to call it the first fruit of the technology because that's the tokens that incentivizes the protocol itself. Many of the tokens that you have that people call cryptocurrencies today are not necessarily currency. They started out as tokens for utility on the blockchain. So if you have a blockchain where you need to perform some task and you require people to participate in carrying out that task, definitely there will have to be a way to incentivize the participants in the network. For instance, Bitcoin is designed primarily as a cash, an online cash that can be shared between peer-to-peer protocols. Now, currency like Ethereum is not designed to be cash. It's designed to be a utility token. So people hold them basically because of the expected increase in the value. So it's speculation that makes a lot of people hold some of these tokens as cryptocurrencies, so to speak. Otherwise, not all of them are designed to serve as currencies.
Let's break this home. What are some of the specific use cases of how blockchain can help transform Nigeria?
Nigeria practically doesn't have reliable data. Now, in the areas like census, keeping birth records, death records, marriage records, court proceedings, and so forth, anything that has to do with keeping records, Nigeria as a country can benefit from the technology. Secondly, you look at our voting system. Our voting system has completely made it difficult for the people that we really would have loved to emerge as our leaders to emerge. Blockchain solved the problem that used to draw people back from electronic voting because the challenges of electronic voting is the centralization of the servers. But when you apply blockchain technology in a decentralized manner, everybody will trust the data. Everybody trusts the voting process. So you look at keeping accurate records in ministries and parastatals. You look at keeping reliable information about voting. You look at even our government structures. You have different MDAs having different processes to carry out their transactions in a very, very untransparent manner. Okay, so blockchain will help them to actually increase citizen participation, because the more people trust you, the more they get comfortable participating in what you're doing.
Can you advise on some of the specific ways you think that we should implement blockchain in the country?
Okay, because blockchain technology cuts across different kinds of industries. You have the security, then you have the currency, then you have the technology. Now, this needs to be articulated properly among these three agencies of government: that the Central Bank of Nigeria, the Security and Exchange Commission, and NIDA itself, which is the Technology Development Institute in Nigeria. Now, why is it supposed to be like that? Because you cannot handle one without dealing with the other. A proper regulatory environment will help this technology to flourish in Nigeria. Secondly, because it has to do with assets, digital assets, you know, blockchain thrives in a borderless environment, and values become very fluid. So you can move values across borders in split seconds. So you need to properly craft the regulatory framework that can manage all three legs of the technology. And luckily enough, the Security and Exchange Commission is already far ahead of other agencies in drafting a roadmap and also constituting a blockchain and crypto asset working group to look at this. I'm also currently aware of what NIDA is trying to do to draft a policy that will help us to regulate the technology and also create what you call a national blockchain initiative that will drive the deployment of the agency. Also, I'm aware that the Central Bank of Nigeria also is very, very serious about bringing out areas where blockchain technology could concern them. For instance, in their request for information for 2030, they actually practically made a request to find out if Nigeria should go along like some other countries and launch a crypto-based currency tied to the Naira. And that means that they are thinking about that too. So in a nutshell, I think these three agencies have to work hand in hand to craft the proper regulatory framework that will cause the ecosystem to thrive properly.
Finally, Chuta, for what is happening to Libera at the moment, is that a setback for the blockchain ecosystem?
No. The recent news was that a couple of companies that were in the Libera Foundation, they pulled out. But also, they released a new press release, and that press release confirms that the Libera project is on course. It will be built, it will be released, it will run, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. Okay, so the technology is such that it's already on auto cruise. So whether you like it or not, the technology will thrive. So governments may feel uncomfortable, companies may feel uncomfortable, but then it doesn't change anything. That's the direction of tech, and there's nothing anybody can do about it at this time.
Chuta, only time will tell. Thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you so much, CFA.
As you have heard from Chimezie Chuta, founder, BlockChain Nigeria User Group, Nigeria is making progress in the field of blockchain, and we need the right policies and investments to ensure that the little progress we have today is sustained. It's a wrap on this edition of the show, but the conversation continues online. Please join us on social media. Remember, you can watch the entire show on the channel's TV YouTube account or by checking out cfablog.ng. For Tech Trends, I'm Chukwuemeka Agbata.